Mutozi Chwani, Muzwila Chwani, Kimanzi Vwani, good evening, Zambia. We are back at it again. Of course, we are slightly late, but it doesn't really matter because Z Corner, your community TV station, is here. And in today's topics, we are going to be talking about a lot of things. Finally, Honorable Bowman Lusambo addresses Mercy Cowham, and he is down for a DNA test because he is confident he is not the father. So anyway, the other things that we're going to be talking about are obviously topics like PF Central Committee, which is going to be happening tomorrow because they need to decide who the president is going to be, who is going to be leading the mighty, or rather the fallen patriotic front. Is it going to be Kambwil? Is it going to be Nkandulu? Is it going to be Given Luwinda? And so on and so forth. And we have this is just breaking news. We have new district commissioners. They have just been appointed. We are just receiving this information right now. So President Hakainde Hichilema has appointed new district commissioners. So if you represent any city, any town, any province, you better be checking for your new DC right now because the other thing that we are going to be debating about this evening is President Edgar Lungu's immunity, because apparently kudyakalimbusha abantu barefwayo okufunyapo immunity yaba former kateka because apparently bakateka tabali ba driver abasuma like ofo balanda amenshi ya konko omufolo. So the things that were happening in the past 10 years, they were so outrageous, and of course we've got one man to blame, and this is one of the reasons why a lot of Zambians are eager to see the immunity of former Republican president of Zambia, Mr. Edgar Lungu's immunity stripped off. So is that going to happen? Does the UPND have enough MPs to vote for certain bills and motions in parliament? So I want some topics out. By the way, just for me to set the record straight, I am not a journalist, I am not a reporter, I'm just a regular guy with a mic and a camera. So if you are interested in all these debates, all these topics that we are going to be talking about, tell your father, tell your mother, and let everybody know that Z Corner is back today. And as usual, this is time to share this video. So of course today is going to be another hot debate where we are going to have different panelists, and you already know the criteria that you have to take in order for you to participate and be part of this exciting program. You need to follow the link which is going to be posted in the YouTube, or rather the comment section. So just look out for the comment section. There is a link in order for you to participate. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are not a monolithic type of people. We've got different people with different opinions, and we do accept opinions from across, various sections of society and all, I'm mixing up the language right there. Opinions, we follow this type of thinking and this type of narrative. Everybody is welcome. I'm opposition leaders, I'm ruling leaders. So I do have a few people rolling through. All right, I was so energetic. Mr. Mac James, na muchumfa chintro chafuma shan chirifya bueno chintro.
Chirilaka chiriomfika bueno.
Lero tureva sansa lero, Mr. Mutonga. Mr. Mutonga, good evening, welcome.
Good evening. I just found myself outside again.
I think in Dekaripa, even if I'm not a professional journalist, I think in Dekaripa. But there's one thing missing. There's one thing missing, ladies and gentlemen. We need women, because now I'm inbox saying, how come you're only allowing men to participate? Well, ladies and gentlemen, everybody is expected to be part of this particular platform. Especially Papa Lumendo Kubati on my behalf. We love the ladies.
Ladies are essential.
All right. So, gentlemen, I know you are very professional and Temasana Kadimbusha Pamushi. So, but I know a lot of our followers why Temasano Mulomo. This is one of the reasons why Millie Beauty is very popular, and Mrs. Kennedy. So, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give the people what they want and play them what Bowman Lusambo said. We're not going to talk about that because we've already talked about this particular topic for a very long period of time.
Yeah.
But the man has given his opinion because we are a fair platform. If utakwa wakunyanti di radios like fida ZNBC yare bombea kwa ati ba ZNBC ba sefe broadcast ba PF. No, we're above that because we're diplomatic. So we're going to give chance to Honorable Bowman Lusambo to give his opinion and his with regards to all the allegations. So without further ado, let me just play you the Honorable Bowman Lusambo's thing. Then we'll move on to the next topics that we have. Because so let me just share the screen and let's roll and get on with the program.
By one Messi comment, she says you've your fathered children without you're refusing. You said you are a giving family, but you are refusing to take care of your own, children. I know this is a matter that is in court, but where are you and how does this make you feel as a leader, as a public figure, a Christian? I would like to believe.
Yeah.
How does this make you feel?
First and foremost, this is the matter which is before the courts of law, and I'm very reluctant to comment about this matter, but it's very and we can't comment beyond the passing of comments which we'll make. I'm very happy that the matter is in court, and it is a matter of its own kind. Because it happens in other countries where, especially in Europe, in America, where a lady can just pop up from nowhere and say, "Oh, this is my husband. This is my." But in Zambia, this is the first case of its kind, and I can assure you that it is under the courts of law, and very soon the truth will come out. And I'm happy that we have organizations like NGOCC, Legal Aid, and many other organizations who have shown interest to see to it that this matter is concluded in the normal way, and I'm very, very happy about that. But we have seen also from social media, we have seen people commenting on this on this issue. I recall Mr. Sata when he said the educated in Zambia, they are cowards and they don't want challenges. When you see some comments coming out and they say, this person, then I said, oh, well, we have a functional illiterates in our country. Some of the people can comment about this thing, thinking, no, this is true, without analyzing the issue.
By the way, I think he was addressing Mwewa Pazet Corner. Just so you know.
He was talking about himself.
Anyway, let's continue.
And
I listened to him
within what they have learned. Okay, that's why I've said functional illiterates. You see what I mean? Doctorates, professors discussing issues which they can't think beyond what they know. So for me, I'm happy that this matter is in court. I'm a married person. I'm a married person with 5 kids, very beautiful daughters, and very handsome a son. And I'm a Christian. I go to church. I've received Jesus Christ as my personal savior. And if today they found out that, yes, Bowman, you are the one now of these kids, I'll resign as the member of parliament for Kabushi constituency, and I won't be worthy to be called honorable member of parliament for Kabushi.
Well, by the way, that's a very nice pledge. He says if he's truly the father, he's
He will
going to
resign.
resign on moral grounds. But according to history, Vamambala Tabashta resign Muzambia.
No,
This is just
we'll petition him to resign.
we have abaresta donate amanani ama sample, but Tabashta resign. And that's if HH wins, I'll do some stuff. Anyway, let's continue.
I will resign.
After DNA, when
After-
you could resign without DNA.
I can't resign without DNA because it is wrong for me to do such a thing. DNA, it's the best. And I can assure you that after DNA, the next course of action, I don't want the people of Zambia to talk because the next course of action, I've taken time to talk about this matter because it has been in the public domain and the public, the court of opinion. They have judged me, they have said a lot of things. But as a leader, those are challenges which I expect to go through. I can assure you that, first of all, I'm not moved. They don't call me bulldozer for nothing. This is the reason why they called me bulldozer. You know, I eat with my wife, I eat with my kids, I eat with my friends. We laugh and the life goes on. How can you have a girlfriend, Kennedy? Me, I'm a very busy person. How can you have a girlfriend who doesn't even know your own friends? Your own friends. Because me as a busy person, maybe twice or 3 times or 5 times I can call my friend, boy, ntwalirako something kuri uyu mwana kashi, ntwalirako something. You don't even know my friends. You don't even know one of my best friends, even my confidant, you don't know, and you claim to be my girlfriend. It is a pity that.
But you know this person. You know this lady. Do you know her?
I don't know her. I don't know her, and I don't know where she's coming from. But for me, that is not important. What's important is, Bowman, are you the one of these kids? That is the most important thing. Are you the one on this? But I can assure you, Kennedy, that this is a very interesting matter. Very interesting matter. And a lot of people, they have said a lot of things. I laugh at them.
Your last words.
My last words is that 2026, whether we like it or not.
Okay. So, yeah, that was Mr. rather honorable Bowman Lusambo giving his side of the story. So, of course, as Z Corner, we did sort of publish this story a lot, and I just thought, as an honorable platform and from a moral standpoint of view, we should also give Bowman Lusambo a chance to give his side of the story because we're diplomatic like that. So anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, kindly share this video because it's going to get rowdy. It's going to get very interesting. Now we are about to move on to the next segment of the show where we are going to debate the immunity of former Republican President Edgar Lungu. You already know what happened during his tenure. You already know he was a bad driver. He was silent when we needed him to voice out his opinions. We heard a lot of different allegations with regards to Mukula, plus a whole lot of different business deals, which we are not going to get into. So the people of Zambia are still hurt. Chichirichire Karipa. People haven't moved on. And this is one of the reasons why we are seeing, for example, Matomola is he's sort of championing this agenda to strip the immunity off of Mr. Lungu. So to my panel, what do you think about this particular notion? Are you with it? Are you against it? Is it something that we need to do, and why should it be done? So who's going to take it up first? And remember, the rules are be brief as possible, 90 seconds. Whenever you hear this sound, it means you need to wind it up because we've got a lot of topics to cover. Anyway, without wasting your time, Mr. Mtonga, go for it.
All right, I'll just put it to remembrance. I think we had 2002, there was immunity removed for former President Chiluba. And when he was found wanting, I think if you compare Chiluba and what has happened to the new government, to the last regime, it's totally, Chiluba is chicken change. You can call that as chicken change, but these guys, 20.5 million, which he diverted to his, for his personal use and his friends, then that's the only thing mentioned mostly. But when you consider the Lungus and the money that is gone missing, it's literally so much. So I would say, okay, immunity, let it be there while the president is in office in order to protect his integrity, not to be pulled to and from court to court to have a case, but let the immunity be removed. Section 43 of part 3 of Article 43 rather of the Constitution, that is what we need to remove. After he's left office, he should be able to answer questions. For example, Lungu is supposed to answer this because we can't have so much money gone and even, that we can't have any answers. And these guys are even having a cheek to come up and trying to sue the government again. And it's pathetic. We don't want that. The legislators should be able to vote. And last time Chiluba was moved out because there was protests. So I'm glad there's one protest going on right now. But these guys, we should have more protests. They did that because of the people. The people's voice speaks much more than any other protest. So people should start, pushing the parliamentary and the legislators to vote against this, this immunity and remove Section 43. Article 43, Section 3 of Article 43, that they can have. Let this guy come for questioning. Let him answer. This is why did he lose so much money? Why did he make the state, the country go through such? People have died. People died during his reign. He needs to answer some questions. He can't just be left to get away. Even the time of Rupiah Banda, they did remove 2013. They removed immunity for Rupiah Banda because there was money which was found, which was basically, I think it was about some 300 or so $1,000. It wasn't even that much compared to what these guys have stolen. So we need to have this immunity removed, Section 3 of 43, Article 43. Let it be removed so that we can hear answers what Lungu is going to say, not just to keep quiet. If he's saying sorry, he should come up and say, okay, let me say what I know, what I can do. Then we can forgive him. In this case, he's staying quiet. He knows, he's planning how do I spend this money? How do I move this money? You don't know. Even his people, they have the cheek of boasting that they can sue you even when they've stolen, they've got evidence. All these guys that, in fact, any guy who's a thief, we've proved the thief, he shouldn't even be in parliament. It's talking rubbish. These guys should not be in parliament if they have any suspicion. We've just, where we are now, where I am now, we just had a guy who did, one of the members of parliament, he was doing his own private business while in the office. He's just resigned now because, and he's going through questioning to get, for him to answer why did he break the law. So this is what we need to do. Lungu needs to answer because the head is the one who authorized everything. Therefore, let's hear what his answer is. Because, for example, if you compare to Rupiah Banda and Chiluba and Rupiah Banda to Lungu, they are just kids in the game. They're just kids in the game. He was mafia. He was literally a cartel with his cohort of mafia. So even those that are still, in parliament, they're still, they're just wishing they're there to destabilize the whole system so that they can still be, have chance of hoping to get back for 2026, which I don't think they will. But immunity, I support, I concur with that we should really, people are protest is what brought the removal of Chiluba. protest is what they removed. I mean, the others, all these were because of the protest to the legislators. So let these guys not even go to the president. Let them go to the parliament and get these guys to lobby these guys in parliament to get them off this, to get them to decide to remove the immunity for Lungu, because we know that the country is suffering because of him, and many people died because of him, because of the cataclysm. All these things needs to be answered. We need to see. We need to see. This is the time. The government have given it. I don't think the government has announced any, to say, can you hand in what you have stolen? We'll give you a chance or what? No, they haven't literally done that, but it's just like an indirect. So when are they going to say, if you don't bring at a particular time what we have, if we suspect something, we're going to have to question you to come and search your house, come and search everything. Those have hidden a lot of things by now. So to my conclusion, I would want to see Lungu's immunity removed and let's hear him answer the questions of on the Zambians' mind. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mtonga. I have a lot of questions for you because you raised quite a lot of profound points, but we'll get back to you. So at this particular moment, right, let's pass the ball over to Brother Mark James. Brother Mark James, what's your contribution?
Yes, good evening, Muna, and good evening, viewers.
Good evening.
I think the issue of the immunity, the way I do understand it, for I know that the law has no master, for it is a master to itself. So there is no one who is above the law. That we should know. Then when coming to the issue of the move of the immunity of the president, it's not just a matter of deciding somebody just comes, let's remove this and that. There should be reasons, there should be issues leading to the removal of the immunity. So, as you know that these issues, as the protests that we've seen on social media, there are those people, they've got reasons. And those are the reasons that people who do not know would want to know. There are certain other things people would want the president to answer, and the president can only answer to those things because he was a public figure, he was a public worker. So if the public, the people he was reading, have got questions that needed to be answered, he just has to answer to those questions. It's not necessarily mean that when the immunity is removed, the president will be arrested or there will be what and what. No, it's just to make himself available to the people, those who have got the question, to ask the president. And if the issue of removing the immunity of the president, I do understand as the law as it stands that it is the president, like the current president, who should also be involved, who should start and raise issues. It goes to parliament, they debate and whatever. From there, then if they decide and they see it fit that the immunity should be withdrawn or rather removed, so that the former president can answer to those allegations and questions. So people should bring what they know about the former president. When they bring those issues, it will reach to the relevant authorities who will see it prudent that, yes, these are questions, these are issues which need to be answered. And the president will answer, will explain. If it will require to going to the court of law or whatever, whichever is applicable. We don't have to worry, to fear nothing. It's a straightforward issue. We have seen, as Mr. Mtonga has rightly put it, we saw the removal of the immunity for Dr. Chiruba, may so rest in peace. There were certain other allegations it went the way it went. It was reinstated back. There was the issue of Mr. Rupia Banda. Same thing happened, and this is just a normal thing. People have got questions. There is no one who is perfect. We normally say, to err is human. One could have erred in one way or the other. It's just a matter of trying to explain to the people who had no privilege, maybe to ask you, maybe to find from you how certain things moved, how certain processes were carried out at that time when you were a reader, because maybe the law could have protected you. So this is the only time that people can ask you questions. So the removal of the immunity is not a punishment at all. It's just making yourself available to those who have got issues, those who have got questions, so that you answer them. And it is not automatic that when the immunity is removed from you, then you will become automatically guilty of any allegation that or any question that the public or those people who are concerned, who have got issues, want you to find out. No. Everything that we do, much as we know that when you're in a public office and all these things, you are handling public resources, you are handling on public properties. If people have got questions, avail yourself, explain. If people, they are seeing you to be richer than you were before. It's not magic. You don't just get rich, just seated from nowhere. It's all a process of hard work. And hard work have traceable records where you would tell the people, I bought this, when I did that, when I did that, when I sold that, when I did that business. It is simple as that. So I don't think it is a big issue that certain people can even fear. Or even, for instance, if it goes to parliament. Even when it goes to parliament, I don't think there is an issue where somebody would want to shield one and whatever. It's just make yourself available, answer to these allegations, answer to these questions. It ends there. If there is a case to answer, then there is another way and another procedure which we can follow. I don't see it a very big deal, but unless if there is something hidden behind it, that one would be afraid of. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Mark James. Let's move over to Nakonde Voice. Nakonde Voice, welcome to the show. What is your contribution? Make it brief, precise, and straight to the point.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mnaula, for according me this opportunity. I think I've nothing much to say. I'm just also supporting the lifting of immunity for former President Edgar Lungu. You know, this is not a political issue. It's all about respect for the rule of law. It is a constitutional issue, something to do with the constitution. We have no objection. I think the president should quickly move in this motion in parliament so that members of parliament can debate over it. Because there are a lot of cases that the former government, committed during their regime, of which they have to be held answerable for now. A lot of Zambians, especially us youths, are looking forward to that. We don't actually need even to take time. We have to quickly, lift his immunity and see the other thing that will follow. We pave way for law enforcement agencies to quickly investigate issues that happened. Mr. Mnangagwa, you can agree with me that during the government of the Patriotic Front, a lot of people were killed, were murdered, shot. You see,
Absolutely,
they
no doubt.
even reached an extent of giving, military weapons to cadres, and they misused those, weapons, putting on of military guardians, threatening people, So all those things happened because of the president. In the country like Zambia, the president is the highest person. He's in charge of everything. So he must be held accountable for everything, for any crime that was committed during his regime. It's a nice move, actually, because it will be a lesson even to other presidents, former presidents and presidents to come. We need to respect the rule of law. We need to respect Zambians, because for someone to become a president, that person is voted by the citizens, of which we expect him to govern the country in accordance with the Constitution of the Republic. It is the Constitution of the Republic that guides the president governance and every procedure that has been taken. So, Mr. Mnaula, I think it's a very good move, like Mr. Mtonga has alluded to, say the president's immunity must be lifted, so that you see, we pave a way for law investigation agencies to come in and ensure that justice prevails. Because some of us have lost our relatives. We lost our relatives during the regime. They were killed brutally by the former regime. We quickly seek the president to quickly come to our aid and see that law and justice prevails. And we are known as a Christian nation. I thank you. I thank you very much.
All right, Nakonde Voice, thank you for your tungwe. So now let's pass it over to Brother Oscar, all the way from Italy. I don't know whether he can hear us. What is your contribution, sir?
Hello, good evening, panel, and good evening, Zambians, those listening to this beautiful program.
Good evening.
Yes, I think on the removal of the president's immunity, I will just talk in terms of ethics, from an ethical point of view. From an ethical point of view, not only our president, our former president, Edgar Lungu, but also, for example, the Minister of Health, Ms. Honorable Chitaru Shilufya. From an ethical point of view, you can just submit yourself for scrutiny. From an ethical point of view, not from a professional. What the country, the voice of the people is the voice of God, they say, isn't it? If the people, they are saying this past government was full of crimes, criminals, thieves, it is not one voice, it's the people's voice. So I think some truth, there are some truth. How do you rub off such an allegation? You rub it off by presenting yourself for scrutiny. If you have made some mistakes, I mean, we can pay mistakes. We all make mistakes. So I think for our president, from an ethical point of view, I would as well suggest that ex-president, Edgar Lungu accepts to be scrutinized. Otherwise, how do I look at him when I see him on the streets? How do I look at Musonda Faith? Is it Faith? How do I look at Faith Musonda if I meet her on the streets? How do I look at Bowman Lusambo with 2 billion kwacha that he spends to go and buy some sweets and chewing gums in the shopping mall? For he uses 2 million kwacha for shopping. How do I look at these? And how do we answer to the PF cadres who were pointing at our president? Balungu waliwomba, Edgar Lungu waliwomba, abene bakasaka. Gentlemen, there are a lot of things. How do we look at Chishimba Kambwili? Chishimba Kambwili, who told the Zambians, Edgar Lungu is a liar. It's Chishimba Kambwili, not me, who is now aspiring to be a president for PF. He is the one who said it. Vapompwe, he said. If we doubt for the criminalities which have been suspected to our president, let's go Chishimba Kambwili to be the witness. And he is key witness in many atrocities, Chishimba Kambwili, in the killing of the guy in Luansha, 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 in the killing of in calling Edgar Chagwalunge Pompwe, he is the witness. Let's call him. We call Chimbakambuli to testify in favor of the Zambians that the allegations are true. So I think I would emphasize on this, Mr. Muna, from an ethical point of view. I would suggest our president accepts this. He is the one, actually, he is the first one who's supposed to say, well, to avoid allegations and suspicions, I would like to be prosecuted so that he can come out clean or convicted or free. The same thing, I think, with the so-called Honorable Chishimba Kambwili with his case. A girl cannot just come out from nowhere and say, well, this and that. Anyway, come on, let's be matured. And if at all that gentleman is going to be, well, they are going to confirm that he's a father of those kids, not only is supposed to step down as a member of parliament because he does not deserve that position, but I think also some penalty can be given. Or there's a law. I have just suggested from this case of that lady with the presumed case of what Chishimba Kambwili having those children. If it is going to be true, then in the parliament, we suggest they propose a law to save and guide these girl, how do you call them? Girl child? Girl mama, I don't know.
Baby mama.
Baby mama, eh?
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know though. I wouldn't know. Because I don't have any baby mamas.
We are presuming. But if it's going to be true, then I think in Parliament, they should talk about this, how to really care for this baby mama, because here in Europe, Mr. Muna, they really take care of them. And they call the so-called papas to their responsibility. So thank you very much. I encourage our former president. I encourage him from an ethical point of view. Please, sir, accept. And he also, of course, he had the so-called Christians for Lungu. How do we look at the Christians for Lungu in this case? How do we look at them? Anyway, thank you so much.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Brother Oscar. So let's pass it on to Moses. Moses, give us your quick take and stop watching us on your other devices. I can hear the feedback. It's annoying.
No. Good evening.
Good evening.
Thank you. Good evening, panelists. Other viewers there. Yes, only the point of removing the immunity. He was the president for this country, and all Zambians, we are looking at him to explain to us. Let him come open, just like Mr. Mpombo, he has said. Personally, he need to come out and to speak to the Zambian people. I heard him saying, Njerereni kondero mbowerero. Like that forgiveness. Where was that forgiveness coming from? So we need to listen to him. Where that forgiveness, the base of that forgiveness as Zambians. Yes, we should remove the immunity for the president, for him to pave way for the investigation, for us as citizens of this country to have clear information about the president, the former president. This thing, we are not against him, but we want to have a clearance on what had transpired. We have witnessed a lot in this country. Gassing, no one, not even now, we can point that, oh, gassing, it was this person or whatever. No, it was like the government was involved on that point of gassing, but the real statement or the one who was spearheading that, we have not yet gotten that information. Coming to the police, the tracks we were seeing, like Kwatini Kunkondo, for the first time in this country called Zambia, we have experienced that. I recall also, I remember election in Uganda, the way they used to treat that opposition, Robert Kyagulanyi. That's the kind I compare what transpired here in Zambia with heavy-armed policemen. On those issues, Kampyongo also being the Minister of Home Affairs is able to answer us Zambian also in conjunction with the head of state, because he was the one, just like the current president is the commander-in-chief now. Therefore, this minister and others cannot do or direct things which if I was the president looking at it, it is not giving peace, protection to the Zambian people. So I support the removal of immunity so that we get clearance from the president. We respect him. He was our president. According to the Bible says, respect your readers. Yes, we should respect our readers, but also the readers, let them remember that they are servants of the people. They are not our bosses. They should serve the people in accordance with the law, not them doing it. Each example given like Bowman Lusambo, trying to disrespect the people voted for him from that constituency. No, we can't work like that. This is my contribution, sir.
Thank you very much, Moses. Just reduce whatever volume you're, because you're playing something in the background. I can hear my feedback. So, all right, okay. Let's pass it over to Brother Jason. Brother Jason, welcome to the show. And what is your quick contribution before we pass it over or move to the next segment?
Thank you so much, Brother Muna, and welcome, fellow panelists out there. I've joined you a bit late because it is raining this side, so I had difficulty connecting with you guys. You know, it is obvious that the former president immune system must be rifted, but we cannot use that adjective to say it must be rifted, because, you know, there are procedures. There are rules of the game that are supposed to be followed for the immunity of the president to be lifted. Of course, it is provided in the Constitution to say that any former president is not supposed to be subjected to any criminal queries until his or her immunity is lifted. But looking at the state of affairs, Brother Muna and the fellow panelists, even the viewers, it is not that easy. Protest in the street, they cannot help. What can help to lift the immunity of the former president is having the majority votes in the House of Parliament. When
Exactly.
the member, yes. So it is not something like we can just wake up.
Yeah, sorry, Brother Jason. Sorry for cutting you off. Just hold your thoughts, because that was what I was about to get to. You see,
Okay,
in order for
okay.
us to strip off the immunity of former Republican President Mr. Lungu, we obviously need to do certain things according to our constitution. Gorilla type of government. No, remove his immunity. There are rules and stipulations that need to be followed. Now, my question to you, Brother Jason, is what are these rules, and can the UPND government be able to pull this stunt off? Because apparently according to the numbers in the, you know, the members of parliament, if you compare them, PF versus UPND, right? UPND cannot really pull off 2/3 voting type of system because they've got a limited number of members of parliament who can't really bring in certain notions and certain bills to sort of come to fruition. So my question to you, Brother Jason, and my panelists is, what does it take?
That's why, Brother Muna, that's where I was coming actually. I was trying to explain the same thing, because we need to look at the ratio that UPND has concerning member of parliament in the House. Are they enough to come up with to push up a motion and also vote? Because they need to reach a simple majority, the 1/3 majority, so to say. I don't know if I'm in the correct line. But for those who are not understanding native language, lifting the immunity of the president, it is of course provided in our constitution, it is enshrined. But it is not an easy thing that we can just take it to the street, we can just rise and start boycotting to say lift former President Lungu's immunity. No. If I can member of parliament, ngababa more than half aba voted okwebati, the immunity of the former president must be lifted so that we pave way for President Edgar Lungu to be answerable to a lot of allegations which were happened in their regime. Elofinga bomba. So the question we are asking now is it possible? Is it possible for the member of parliament that we have, even if we include the independent member of parliament, are they sufficient enough to pass a bill so that the immunity of the president is lifted? So it is not something that is easy, looking at the state of affairs in the parliament. It is not that easy. But what we should all know is it is provided in our constitution to say Kateka afuire abapo lifted, immunity afuire aba lifted, so that he or she is subjected to other questioning, so that other legal officers can take their own course. Number as it is, Brother Muna, I'm doubting if that is possible, unless otherwise. Thank you so much. I submit for now.
Hello, Mr. Muna. Hello.
Is Mr. Muna around?
I think Mr. Muna must be busy with some technical issues out there.
Okay. Sorry. Can you hear me now? I forgot to unmute it.
Yes, you are able to.
All right. Jesus, Apaninda, and then all right, okay. All right, okay. So what I was saying is what we need to have more than 2/3 of the members of parliament to vote for the stripping of his immunity. So let me give you a practical example of what happened in Chiluba's era. So back in the day, 140 members of parliament out of 168 members of parliament voted to waive Chiluba's immunity. So just like Brother Jason said, right, we obviously need a lot of numbers mu parliament mudapakti people vote for his immunity to be stripped off or to be lifted or to be removed. So it's not really something that can be done based on the current situation with regards to members of parliament va UPND versus va PF. So obviously va PF bala gada the situation, and then it won't be possible to pass that bill or that motion in parliament to lift off or lift his immunity. So it's something that is not really easy to do because numbers are very important. But one thing that we should know is there are a lot of petitions with regards to PF members of parliament. A lot of them are in courts right now. They're fighting legal battles. So if UPND can be able to get some more members of parliament, if they are able to win these petitions, like for example, I know in is it Kamfinsa constituency is also being petitioned. There's also the Munali, the Chawama seat is also being petitioned, plus a lot of different seats are being petitioned as well. So only then if the UPND is able to get a lot of MPs and then they're able to vote, then we can see the immunity lifted off. However, it's not just about you go with a billboard in town and you start protesting. There's actually rules and levels to these things. But anyway, I digress. So Moses, you wanted to add, who wanted to add their Tungways?
Yes, it was me.
All right, go for it.
Hello? All right, go for it. Yes. My point, I wanted to say it is possible. What we need to know is that every member in the parliament, they are there to serve the people of Zambia, the people of that constituency they are coming from. And it doesn't matter whether PF are men than UPND. But my concern is that every member who is there as MP should have that heart to serve the people of Zambia diligently. So, including the independent member of parliament, let us work in accordance for the future of this country, not only politics issue, because this is what killed PF in their regime. They were voting even things which is not making sense. So let us improve in that thinking criteria. This is my point.
All right. Anybody to propose that notion?
Hello, Brother Muna.
Go for it.
Yes, the brother has just put it right to say, you know, all the members of parliament who are there, they are there to serve not only their constituencies, but the entire nation. Now, where the issue is, you know, these guys are coming, you know that abafyashi besu aba eba to protect niveva kwanga bapasa tukapasa kachema nempaka nishitashani shasalangana. So these guys, they are also trying to protect their own interest. So they cannot just give their votes easily to say, let Edgar Lungu's immunity be lifted, because they know that actually, if their father is being uncovered, then it means they're chikabana wesi. Because I am my issues here. Mwalasangati aba minister of health abena chitarichurifia. We even saw it was clear what happened. The man was supposed to be fired there, and then clear evidence was there, but he was covered. Do you think people like Chitaluchirufia can just give the vote easily like that to say I'm saving my country? It is not very possible. So we need to look at the people that we are dealing with. The only thing that can save us, I don't know, maybe it can take a miracle for some PF members to just freely give their votes to say we need to lift. But looking at the cartel which was in PF, it is not very easy just for the PF members to give their votes to say, may Edgar Lungu's immunity be lifted so that no, because they know that they will also be implicated. So it's not very easy. I submit.
All right. Any rebuttals here, gentlemen? Mark James, go for it.
Okay, me, I just want to echo on the point you've raised, Mona, over these guys who are protesting. I think I believe they've got a point, and they are also contributing somehow, because it is because of them that today we have got this topic we are discussing. So much as we know that it is the issue of numbers, but they start the ball rolling. So they raise the dust. So everyone else, even those people who are still in hibernation, who are still thinking low, with these guys, at least they've been opened up. Today we are discussing this issue here. So they play a better role. We hope this sensitization they are giving, it can sink into other people whose duty it is for them to be patriotic, to be on the side of the Zambian people. So it's not about trying to defend an individual, but to be on the side of the Zambian people. What are the Zambian people saying? What are they crying? What are they saying? If those MPs and the other people, those whose duty it is for them to decide. So it is not at the end of it trying to shoot one individual. Much as I agree with the Mr. Jackson, what he is saying, yes, there are those people who are also being backed by maybe the former president and whatever. But at the end of it, we must be a patriotic Zambians who puts the country first than individual egos. So I think I support that these guys who are protesting, they are good because they are raising awareness even to people, and some of the people who were just stripping them. So, oh, there is this issue, or there is that other issue which happened in that year and whatever. So at the end of it, it will be like a revolutionary where everyone is wanting this, and just for today, as you have seen, I saw these pictures we are seeing here, they were at the State House and whatever. The president is aware and other people are aware. So they are also doing their part. So the other part which is remaining is those whose duty it is for them to decide what the Zambian people are asking for. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Brother James. So let's pass it over to Kilume Mulao. Give us your contribution, sir.
Yes. I think Munimvera.
Loud and
Am I clear?
Loud and clear.
Okay. I think ninazofuna chio kamba hapo pa nkani ya immunity. Quite okay banzatu bayamba, but niyo na kusogoro. More especially kaenda mu parliament. Mwenzi mwakambira. Kweza funika tu parliament tube third majority. Izatu futako. Because so far so good compared to the China, is it 85 MPs? So izapeze kati kaenda mu parliament pena ungapeze kati ya vote unless ingatopeze kako bajama readers apeze kati da fame, but ingasibali fame mwe tukambira ati kulibe na kitaro kirufya bajabali ma corruption, so it will be very difficult for us to succeed in this program. At least menzo mbeke zako twembeke zako at least onkarako na ma MPs yo zapeze kati nga pokuri kuma ma petition hapa tupeze wina kuma MPs venango at least maybe ngatutandizeko, but for now mweni onera 3/4 or my independent candidates bebali munje sibanga tutandize venango the few ngatutandize. I think that's my take.
Thank you, sir. So let's pass it over to Brother Oscar. He's been missing in action. So, Mr. Pombo, what do you think? Can he hear me? Yeah, I think Brother Oscar is somewhere. Anyway, Brother Jason, I know you have a lot of things to to bring out and a lot of opinions. So. Continue feeding us with that information, that amazing information.
Yeah, I think what we should just work on as per law of our land, we just have to work on creating numbers. And if we cannot achieve on building up on our MPs, then it will mean the issue of immunity lifting. Even this term, I'm telling you, it can, even this term, it can just end like that, and we can just be talking about one and the same thing. Because again, that's why I said, to say that the strength of sin is low. So certain clauses, that's why they should be made deliberate to say immediately when you are voted out, it means your immunity ceases just there and then. That one can help if we are just serious with the way we are doing things, because that will even help even other leaders who are coming to say, this is what is happening. But you know, certain things are done deliberately because these guys, they know to say there is this loophole in our constitution which is going to cover us at the end of the day. But me, my advice to our president, you know, because this issue can be disturbing. Even Abena Mutomola, that guy who is moving that motion of going to protest concerning the immunity lifting, I'm sure they should give the president a break. Let the president concentrate. You know, sometimes the president has to act like Joseph did. You know, Joseph was sought by his own brother. Joseph was persecuted in so many ways. But, you know, he never cried, he never complained. He had to focus to say it is moving forward. And at the end of the day, he even saved his brother. So what I can advise, personally, from the Christian point of view, bamdala bebapanga sana echongo ichakulifting immunity abakateka. Let us concentrate on looking at of course, when we have that privilege to lift by Edgar's immunity, it will just come the way it used to come on other previous presidents. Balupia, it was lifted. Chiluba, it was lifted. But if we are going to push it so fast, because we are grieved na tukaripasana, Mwarasangati, we are going to lose focus. So for now, let us win the confidence of the people. Let the president continue pushing on important matters. Looking at the issue of immunity, Brother Muna and the viewers, Zambian, you are listening. Station at Edgar Lungu, we are going to share, we are going to waste our own time. So let us allow the president to concentrate on other important matters until the time to come that we've got numbers in parliament, because that is the fact according to our constitution. Unless we say constitution to change, no matter change, still we need numbers. So let us allow the time to take its own course.
Right. So Brother Jason, sorry for cutting you off. So what do you think UPND needs to do in order to increase the numbers of MPs?
Like I'm saying, they just have to do what they are telling people that they would do. Like in the budget, we have seen the budget is out. So let the budget be a reflection of what they propose. We don't want just to see the theory, because abantu balasula. But you know, we are having confidence in our current administration. It is somehow serious, because I saw the civil servant thing. Which one is this? The Amalonia, I'm sure in December, they will be given back. They will be given back. I'm sure, Muna, you are aware of that one. So let the government continue winning the confidence of people. Umufyashi, tashu panangwaba nabali kalipashani. Na kuna kuine oko tababa pere ama MPs. Na go kuine tukakwata. And we are going to have, that's much we know. Because that's why nama issues yakwe bati tulechita consider for twarera ndatama journalist ama question yamwe yerachita trigger kwa chiturewerera kunu mawe ne tuchitana concentrate to say who is this and who is what. Let us just concentrate. Let the current administration concentrating on working towards what they are promising people.
Yes, but Brother Jason, One of their promises were, if they came into power, they would bring sanity, they would recover the money, and they would make sure that sanity is brought back to Zambia. And when it comes to recovering back the money, of course, culprits needs to be sort of, we need to get that money back by using all the legal ways that we can do that. So you can only do that if we let certain things happen. You know,
Exactly.
so when it comes to money recovery and all these funds that were looted, of course, investigations need to be done. But you can't do those investigations if the people who are tied to these, illegal things, they've got immunity. How are you going to be able to then recover the assets that were done? And remember, one of the UPND promises was Tukabekata will find out the owner of the 48 houses, will find out the gassing, the people behind the gassing issue. So Nambanga to Alaba Kofe, then it means the UPND is defaulting on its major promises to the Zambian people.
What I'm saying, Brother Muna, is we are not saying we forget about following up on the culprits. We are saying there is this OT issue of the president immunity, but there are others like Abena Chitarichufia, Abena Bowman. We know them, those guys who are easily, who can be easily picked. Abana. We need to start recovering. We need to start recovering. But we are saying, let us not magnify the issue of lifting the president. Focus, yes, yalaba delayed. So let us continue with the investigation, recovering, and all those things. So by the time we will even lift the president immunity, we'll have sufficient evidence of which it will even be easy to prosecute the big man. That's what I'm saying. Thank you so much.
All right. Okay. So one of the things, or rather one of the intels that we are getting here as Z Corner is, it is alleged that one of the ways that the UPND is going to use in order for them to, get the numbers high and get as many MPs as they can is obviously to use the fast track courts in order for them to sort of minimize the legal process so that they can be able to get in there and, for example, convict the people who need to be convicted. Like, let's say, for example, already know that Honorable Bowman Lusambo has got a ton of legal issues, Kulidia Shikuluansha and all that stuff. So technically speaking, if, let's say, for example, Honorable Bowman Lusambo is taken out, already that's an MP seat which is already free. And then there's a lot of different PF members of parliament who can easily be nabbed due to the fact that they were involved in a lot of illegalities. So besides them waiting and doing the long, or rather going through the long process of making AMA promises and all that stuff, because in order for them to actually rule Zambia properly, they need to make sure that their bills and motions are passed and things come into fruition. So they need the numbers right now. Because nobody is going to be 2026. They're already running out of time. So according to you, besides delivering their promises and just doing it the slow way, what other ways can they get to increase their numbers? Because apparently by PF Badera and that corruption because they want to get rid of our MPs. I don't know whether you can take that, Brother Jason. Did you hear me? Hello?
Do you remember, if you remember what really happened?
Sorry, can you just, we missed that. You were muted, so we'll start from the beginning.
Hello, Brother Moon, I'm saying, do you remember what Basata did? And as a result, we Zambian, the same people, we complained to say, we are having a lot of by-election, which was even consuming the taxpayers' money. So, if we are going to find other ways and means, apart from, we should wait for, of course, we have petitions which we are banking on. Yes, of course, we'll have some numbers from there, which is exactly. But if we are going to follow the previous way of doing things, whereby we start tricking member of parliament, we start buying, you know, again, it will mean we are not going to live according above our standards. So that's why I'm saying, let us follow those people we are supposed to follow as we are waiting for the bigger picture to come and surface at the end of the day. Let us just allow time as we are pushing on other important issues. Let us nab those people who are supposed to be nabbed. Let us continue winning people's confidence so that whenever we are lucky we have a by-election, we scoop that parliamentary seat. I think that is the only way I can say. I can't add much on that one.
All right, Mr. Mulao, what is your contribution?
Yeah, I think Nikonka vewa kamba brother, because if you remember very well, our president wanafunsa po question yo ku State House. Wanakamba ati time ikafika tuzaka jumpa. But kuyangana na this time tunafike pa time yopeze kati tungakwanise yo nchito ebayamba bena matomo. Bayamba maningi fast. So situngakwanise kuichita because tuyangana na bantu betu na parliament tuina bangati. So nde bintu betu ngayanganepo. Still monika rukimina pa same. Tuwese bwanji tuzapeze kati zatu. Futi ikafachabe amene bakaipeleka parliament apeze kutokanga okuwina. Nchikwasira. I don't think ingabwererepo futi parliament. So tufuni using opportunity bwino tuaimbekeza bwino time kafika then inkani yaenda parliament inga yapita nchikwasira yapita, but this time we are still down. Remember pato enzo chaya bill 10 vena kasonso baje, they were against bill 10. They were not against bill 10, they were supporting bill 10. So even this time around tulikuwa na ma MPs webanga support president wa former president Edgar Lungu. So tia ntwembekeza chabe time ikafika ndizapeze kati tuzakwanisa kuchita, but tukatamangira because twankana chifukushito no ba president venzo tuvomera kuli bintu venzo chita mene sivenze bwino. For example, ma cadres venze too much venzo chita bintu mene sivenzo wamizana mcharo chatu banapwanya maramuno ambili mu constitution yo banapwanya. So tuziwa muntu anatuchimwira, but tufutie tuyangane pa time ikalibo fika. So tukatamangira tuzaluza na bintu vezo tukakuruza. I think ndivyo nzifana ukamba hapo chapa.
All right, number Mr. Mulao, it is a very sensitive thing to talk about, but you have to remember during the presidency of this man, abantu abengi balifwa because of his negligence. For example, Nsama has left children behind. Those kids will never see Nsama. Of course, you've seen the difference in the leadership of President Haka in the Hichilema. For example, when the UNZA students were protesting, the police were obviously behaving in a very diplomatic and acceptable manner. We had a lot of situations in Western Province where a young man close to my age, he died out of depression. He lost his kids because he got retired in national interest because Valungu tabare for competition. Valungu bali temwene. Valungu vale kakabantu muchifungo. Valungu bali temwene sana. Vale for afeo win at all costs. Right now, we're actually seeing pictures of Mrs. Mutinta Hichilema narrating how President Lungu was almost killed in his house. I can play the audio so that maybe I can refresh your memories, but I'm not going to do that. So all these images that I'm showing you, abantu abengi mu Zambia vali sana because of the negligence of President Edgar Lungu and his cronies and the people who wanted him to still be on power. We remember how the cadres were pompous. I'm police officers. A lot of people were raped by cadres. A lot of different bad things happened because reasonable. You've already seen how the grounds have turned and how everybody is able to maneuver and just basically be able to have freedom. It wasn't happening in his regime. So is that going to bring back Nsama? They'll never get their dad back. They'll never get him back. all the people that died due to the fact that Valungu varifezi. We can't touch Amakadas. They are untouchable because a lot of people died. A lot of women were raped. A lot of people were unfairly treated. So should we just forget about that, saying, let's not remove his immunity? I mean, I'm sorry, I really get emotional because these things, it really affected a lot of us. And some of us were close to people who personally got affected by Mr. Lungu's, bad decisions. Anyway, Mr. Jason, give us your opinion.
Muna, personally, I understand your emotions in the way you are coming out. But that's why me, from the very beginning, before I said anything, I started by trying to explain what it takes for this campaign that is raised by Abena Mutomolo to be fruitful. The question that we should ask ourselves to say, do we have the rules of the game in our country? Of course we have. And the other question that we should ask is our president 887 all about maintaining the rules of the game. The rules of the game. Yes, of course. I'm sure one of the promises, we shouldn't forget, Brother Muna, one of the president, I'm sure one of the core values of Hakainde Hichilema is to restore sanity and the rule of law in our country. And I'm sure, whatever emotions that you are going to attach and other people's emotions, it is not going to move. It is not going to push the president to say, let us do this because people, they have outcried, they have cried too much, let us do this and that. So that's why we are saying, let us do whatever that we can do. We know the issue of Home Affairs Ministry. Is the person in charge with Home Affairs Ministry still available? Is there? Are we able to follow him? Let us follow him and start doing other things as we are waiting for Edgar Lungu's immunity to be lifted. So if we are going to push so much, and every one of us, we are reaching in extremes, such that even this time, if you imagine to say, if PF retain the power, how would it be? First, what room cannot through? What room cannot?
If PF won, Brother Jason, I'm sure Hakainde Hichilema and a lot of us wouldn't have been existing in the next 3 years. No mercy.
Imagine, only 3 months pay. So, one of the things, let us help our president and the current administration as a people. Of course, we need to pressure them. So as we protest, I'm sure they should also be thinking about how are we going to win numbers so that we build numbers in parliament. I'm sure that is their homework, the administrators, the president and the MPs that we have, the ministers that we have, the district commissioners that that have been appointed. As we are pushing them, as we are protesting, because through protest, it is not going to lift Edgar Lungu's immunity. But as we protest, I'm sure we are going to send a signal to say, guys, we need to do something so that we create numbers in parliament, so that at the end of the day, that time will come to lift Edgar Lungu's immunity. That is the only thing that we can do. Otherwise, despite the emotions, but nothing is going to happen as it is at this particular time.
Definitely. I do agree with you, Brother Jason. You are more of a man than I am. Honestly speaking, because, Bari Tutusha Sana and a lot of people that we personally know lost their lives, and we're really close to these instances and these, atrocities. So it's something which is very personal and something that really affected a lot of us because we've got relatives and people that we really know who lost their lives. They're not no, we know people who actually
So
yeah, exactly. And because you know that why if a president tabare landinako, why if a president tabare control the situation, kateka afuire akwato mulinganya, afuire achite fintu fyakwe bati bonse abana bakwe basekerera, not just because bakuchipani. And this is one of the reasons why I keep on saying, look, just because I'm a UPND sympathizer doesn't really mean I'm going to be blindsided by any thing that they do. I will be the first one to come here. Brother Jason is going to be here with us, and we're going to say, however, keep a blind eye. We just call a spade a spade. You know, because we've been
we've got our own assholes, Brother Muna.
Exactly.
That's why we work tirelessly. We don't want to be sympathizers who are shouting, who are chanting party slogans, or because we want something in our pocket. No, we are sympathizers because we believe that Zambia is our heritage and it is our responsibility. You know, Muna, when I look at myself, I'm too young. I'm still young.
True.
So why should I sell myself over a 50 pin, over even a 10 kwacha? And I cause my entire children's children to come and bear a bad name. No. So if they are going to fumble even the UPND, we are going to come to say, no, this is not what you promised. This is not what you promised.
Right. Anyway, aba emotional kudira mwasanga fe muna aponyo muso hapa. Let's move on, otherwise Valungu mwali tukarifya sana umutima mweba fyashi beso kurandira prophet shinka. Then you and your cabinet, you really did hurt us a lot. It's Chena Chishinke from the bottom of my heart. Even if I see you in person, I'll tell it straight to your face and I'll say personally. Anyway, moving on. At least now we know at least why this is therapeutic. Anyway, so let's talk about the PF Central Committee, which is going to be coming up tomorrow. What are you expecting from the PF Central Committee, which is going to take place tomorrow? Because apparently they have a lot of things to fix. They do not have, they do have a president, but of course they need to make some reshuffles. So as a person who's just watching from the terraces, what do you expect of the Central Committee, which is going to take place tomorrow? Are they going to give us a new president? What changes are they going to make? And if you were a part of PF, how would you change the game? What reshuffles would you make, and what would be your strategy? Anybody to take this? Mr. Mulao or Brother Jason? Let me unmute you, Brother Jason. Okay, you can unmute yourself, Brother Jason. Yeah, now you can talk.
Yes, Brother Muna. Out of the little knowledge I think I have concerning PF as it is, I'm sure there are a lot of confusions in PF because they have been fighting. Of course, we know that there is a president. I'm sure they are heading to appoint a new president, of which we don't know who is going to assume that position. And personally, I'm sure I don't even know what to say concerning PF Central Committee.
appetite.
Interest if it was deep, at least I have a little bit of information, but concerning PF, I'm very blank, so to say.
All right. Okay. So you just want them to die, but they're very critical because MP is never quite having. So that's why we need to carefully scrutinize every moves that they are making because they're still very influential. And don't just overlook them because now MPs. So whatever happens in PF, we have to take a keen interest and see what's happening because they've got a lot of MPs. Omo bachiri mu game.
Of course, Brother Muna, they have got a lot of MPs, but we are looking at the people on the ground, the confidence which they have attached to PF as at now. You know, everyone is happy. Everyone is happy. So I don't think, even if we can throw a by-election, I don't think PF, which 30, my brother, 30. So that's why personally I'm saying I haven't even followed them much to look at what they are doing, how they are doing things. So I don't have information much about PF Central Committee, which is coming tomorrow.
All
we
right.
don't
Okay.
know whether Will is going to be president. We don't know.
All right. Okay. Let's pass it over to Mr. Mulao. Mr. Mulao, mwashipula sana. Give us your contributions. Unmute. Yes, we can hear you now.
PF. Okay, niona bakambwira ofuna kuyimirira kai kuzankara my election kuja. City kuzankara. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Yeah. Niona kuzankara my election, kuzankara ku star point, kuzankara my elections. Then kuriyo bazafuna kuyimirira. So monga bakambwira bakambate bazayimirira. Then given Rubinda, I think se bazayimirira kai already the vice president is the vice president. Then he was appointed as a vice president. So I think kipeba funa kuyimirira kachabeba funa kupeza president. So I think you now onayanga funike kunkara president munja. Kapena Mr. Brani Mondovira. But wakambwiringa babayimika tubamire mu PF nshi, that's the end of PF. Because already mukayangana ku Western province siwa bakondapo. So bazamwenda che ku Copper Belt na Northern and Eastern province. Ama presses zao kuchokera zuwa. Auko kwenda zuwa izavuta because chifuka cha tribalism, so izabavutako kwenda kuma presses kino because vebenzo kamba siwakamba bintu vuwamizana bya na Zambia. So I think ndiye problem naonapo. So ngati bazayimika bakambwiri nshibasira baenda ba PF. But ngaba bazareta bena Brani Mundubira.
All right, it seems Tuavalufia was a big. So anyway, let me just play you something. Let me just refresh your brains because for my Africans, we've got a tendency of easily forgetting stuff. We've got like a very we don't really, we easily forget basically. So anyway, just hold on. I want to refresh your brains so that you remember what was happening. So let me just take you back a few years ago. And we had an emotional encounter, or rather a very bad thing that happened with regards to, you know, how President Hichilema was treated during his time in opposition. Okay, so let me just play this.
My husband. They wanted to kill my husband.
Let me tell you a short story about our trip to Kasama. We went to Kasama.
They just wanted to kill my husband. They wanted to kill my husband.
Let me tell you a short story about our trip to Kasama. We went to Kasama to attend a court case for Micheleka, Deputy SG. On our way out there and back, the PF thugs were jealous of the support the people of Northern Province and Muchinga were showing. And they were pelting us with stones when the rest of the community were coming to greet us. And Vale Landati, ni wewe need to live for a bad number. Because of the love the people of Muchinga Northern showed to us, The PF felt jealous, and they know that. Yeah.
Yes.
They just wanted to kill my husband. They wanted to kill my husband. And this war which they've started, I think this is like they're sitting on a volcano which is going to erupt, and it will be so difficult for them to contain. We were in that room from 22 hours, beating all our workers. They were, all of them now, they're in the cells. They tortured them, they beat them, they brutalized them, and then they were asking, where is your boss? Where is your boss? At first they didn't want to say. But then one of them, the good, he took them to our room there. Where is your boss? Where is your boss? Beating him, and the boy was crying. I could feel, I said, then Rachel said, my friend, let me go. I said, no, you're not coming out. It's still they want. It was 22 hours. Why do they have to come at night to pick you? All these years, Hakainde is a law-abiding citizen. When he's caught by the police, he's always there. I don't know what went wrong this time around. That they should come at 22, 23 hours to come and pick him. He said, can I come out? Because they're going to kill my workers. I said, no, don't come out. Because if you come out, they will take you at night. And we don't know where they're going to take you. There's no witness here. It's just the police. They're going to kill you where they're going to take you there. You wait until it's daybreak, and then at least there will be people around. Your lawyers will be here. Then you can come out, and then they will take you. We're in that room. So when they brought that boy, the boy was crying uncontrollably. I don't know where they were touching him. I don't know, private parts. He cried. Until then he said, yeah, I think the boss is there. And then
Yeah, so that was a very emotional narration from Mrs. Mutinta Hichlema. So anyway, let me also let me take you back one more time, because it seems you've forgotten. So there's one more thing I need to show you. These were the UPND cadres. For example, this one, I'm sure you remember how this police officer was humiliated. And guess what happened? After this encounter, he was also transferred to another city, because kada adikwete powamaka, a whole officer, police officer, because kada avosa, because kada atukumya mapingo, you know.
Honorable Lusambo, uyu police alela bakateka tabakapite. Ofanela ndoyu ba honorable. Honestly, this person is saying that bakateka tabakapite. You know about batudere sana ba. Tetulera ndeshe we.
Poor officer taken to another city because Kada now follow, because Kada almost had a heart attack. His whole family, or maybe if he went alone, his entire livelihood that he's been building in Lusaka, he gets transferred to another place. Do you know the amount of disruption that can bring to one's livelihood? Those were the things that many Zambians encountered. And because Vakateka had the power, Mr. Lungu had the power to bring this whole situation to a standstill by just affirming his voice as the father of the nation, saying, Amakadazi, don't overstep your boundaries. But no, he was enjoying it. He allowed it to happen. So we've got many similar instances. You already know because you are there in Zambia. You already know what was happening. We also had such instances where the civil servant, especially mwema teachers, mwema nurses, you know how you were mistreated by amakadas because ba Edgar Lungu tapale for barelan.
After saying, if you imagine something, you do respect. Not just because you know. I was going to say, I'm a patient who will do self-cut. Can you go out? Turemo na kasi na website na panga pressure. Ama se tureno lela. Manje ba wantu boza tule bese ko mwana wangu. Sina mama sa kitu kati. Anangomsha mwa kai. Doctor, can you respond to the X-ray? You want to remember the one. Me am going to can you respond to others or post someone. You said to start then to get duty mwana for am candidate. Was it we have so bad. You know what was the one we like no, me I'm not happy. I'm a patient in India. I'm shocked. I was in that state. Number one, you don't share why are you going outside? Don't dance around. I'm telling you, you can't put me down. I'm shocked. I'm a patient. I'm going to put you down. That's how you talk to window patients. You know what, doctor? And she's even giving my collection. Why are you chasing us? Why are you chasing us? This is serious. Nothing easy. You can even use your joke. No, I'm talking to you because we see. Why can't you go that far and I'm talking to me like that?
So that was a PF cadre threatening a civil servant doctor. He was saying you can even lose your job. Why did he have the audacity to utter such remarks? Because each pani was encouraging these type of behaviors. So you remember how dangerous it was and how easily you could just sort of lose your jobs like that because you didn't do what the cadre wanted you to do. So these were the things that could have been prevented by Mr. Lungu. But while he had the opportunity to do so, what did he do? He kept silent and he indirectly promoted this type of behavior. So let me also play you another clip just to refresh your memory. So this was Innocent Kalimanshi and his group, aka Ama Americans. Of course, these people had the blessings of the powers that be, and these people were terrorizing society. Can you imagine the amount of damage that Innocent Kalimanshi and his group did to the nation? Mr. Lungu had only a few statements to make in order to bring this to an end, just like President Hichilema has done. He said no to Kadarism. Just a single statement, less than one paragraph. Very easy to do. Everything comes back to sanity. But Mr. Lungu, he didn't do that. Let's watch this.
Ona masoja wa bosi kumbuyo mwa bwerera ona masoja soja bari komanda soja kikuchita soja konoko soja soja ona masoja wa bosi Kalimanshi Kosowa Loco, Sosha,
Kwa sherefe panono, kwa sherefe kwempe, Zambia would have become a banana republic. Va PF ngabali pita in a few years ichalonga mwari lusa. You saw what was happening. Kwa sherefe kwempe panono va PF ngabali pita abaso apa Innocent Kalimanshi ngari kwata a bigger militia. Ngari kwata utupondo twingi. Right? The president only had to say a statement or a few sentences, less than a paragraph, to bring this all to an end. But what did he do? He didn't do anything. He didn't know what was happening. He knew. Now, can you imagine the type of damage that abantu bakwa Innocent Kalimanshi bareshta makombon? Utubana kashi utwari raped, utwari molested. Aba umeobo ba umine. I'm a businesses. I ever harassed people who lost a lot of money because of I am a militias. You know, he only had to say one thing or a few sentences. Chapwa, letting the police to do their work. But the police couldn't even do their job because they were below Amakada's. And he said it on record. He said Amakada's states to ikateko because Amakada's vantu vesu, and basically namisambamo Amakada's can do whatever they want. Of course, all the things that I'm talking about, it has the potential to like really, really bring a lot of damage. But this is the road that we take when we talk about these things. And of course, a lot of people are not really going to be happy. But somebody has to say it. So this is one of the reasons why I'm saying, by youth, Nama citizens, we need at least an apology, and we do not need to support PF, because if we continue supporting PF and we continue allowing them to continue in this particular trajectory, because it's their backbone, So to all the youths out there, at least if you're saying, do not support the Patriotic Front because they really brought a lot of damage to Zambia, So if you are a patriotic Zambian and if you really, really love the nation based on their past, and mind you, these people haven't even given us a very good apology. Wachimba Kambwili is still at it. He's still on the tribal crusade. He's still having sermons about tribalism. Tabala Chinja, they are not even apologetic with regards to how we feel as a nation. So this is one of the reasons why I'm saying if the Patriotic Front wants to survive, and of course, when I talk about them surviving, right, I'm not really saying them surviving as an organization. They can still continue thriving as an organization and they'll still continue going. But if they really want to get back the sympathy of the people, at least we need strong apology. They need to go to the family of Unsamansama and donate money, sponsor the kids. Let them show that our way of not to change. Let them go to Western Province, to that young man who died out of depression, that young man who lost his daughter. Let them be on a nationwide apology campaign trail. Let them get the sympathy of the people back, because what we went through as a nation, it was too much, So if them just and them just thinking it's business as usual, of course, from a moral point of view, a lot of people are hurt. A lot of people are still nursing the wounds up to this very day. So this is one of the reasons why I'm saying Vayuth Vanandi. We understand the PF still has got money. They are very well funded. They've got a lot of MPs, but just don't pay them any mind. Don't support them until we get that apology, until we see different people get reshuffled. There's no way we can have the same people leading PF, the same people who brought a lot of damage and hurt to us. So if they need PF to get in the good books of Zambian people, they need to do things differently. They need to have a nationwide apology campaign. They need to change the leadership. They need to tell us that our way we have rebranded Chine because not we look at Tuareru. That's how you properly apologize to the people, and that's how you get in the good books of people from a moral and ethical standpoint of view. And I'm talking about, being ethical, morality, because these are things that you can't really buy. You can't really buy morality. You can't really buy kindness and goodness. Okay, not PF as an organization, we don't really have a lot of money like that, right? But if we do this from a Christian point of view, it's going to ease and soothe the people's hearts, Then like that, the people will gradually begin accepting you and us. Not anyway, let me allow my people want to be so Kabushi graduate. I'm too emotional today. Kabushi graduate. You need to unmute yourself. Unmute yourself. Yeah, I can hear. Yeah, but why are you dressed like? Why are you undressed? But a lot of people are watching you. Now, Mumwanaka, whenever Turangsha 6-pack. But anyway, continue. Just show us your face. Turangsha if into.
Okay, so eyo naralandako iyaba bulldozer neyaba kateeka ba former balungu kubafunyapo immunity. You know, bamuna echindandazi mu Zambia twalikwata sana ensala eikulu sana. So ababa kachita test DNA test kairi ifyenda fitatu 3 kwali bakuchechinga towards the Son, the Father and the Holy Spirit. So na for DNA tukaisenda patatu tukasendeyo ine ya Muzambia yo ukapima kachinga nyinanyo tufire tuwamwishwa bwino then kuno tukapima Muzambia tukaemusa ubena kwa America tukatwara DNA test hiyo. So tapalipo hapo wa kuchenjera hapo. Cause ni ngufu abatata ba bulldozer barandira tsinga barusa you actually retire from active politics. Nomba inocho naranda ko chakwe bati ba bulldozer I am a story twali umfwapo. Let's not forget ba Antonio Mwanza bairandira ine inga UPND yawe inabaka mputura coach 10 of which tafyachitike. Nomba uli omwana kashimwe bantu bakaresa tets wiso of mefe nomba nangu cause bulldozer ngufu bara mutina sana Bowman. So why say isafi oh vesada nikusapanga fedi ya shadi nalikuwa taba na abali 4 no yo race wa number 4 because nangu ya hospital bamuna nangu feterio bamuna bale fienga bamuna fya nomba baba neta bakwate wishi bararuka fe famous street kids abakukupera matfuts bafwire bapima no kupima. So ba Bowman iyo ishu mulera ndeyo yakwe bati nkashita retire iyo tukaipanga patatu DNA test twalishwa Muzambia mwali fule ensara katwishu yo limbi kuba mustirenga ni ipsa mwenga ni ranex nganya ST yafuma negative ama result. So tukaipanga 3 the Son, the Father and the Holy Spirit. Ero futi imbi bamuna yabarungu mwalishi bamuna inendera ndefi as youths ibarera ndati immunity bushe ifwe ba UPND nangu ba UPND ba youth testushite advise government as a parent funye immunity barandati insansa shinyo buranda. So let's come up with enough evidence first take funya fe immunity out fure first to understand term ya immunity bwino because Muzambia fwe baiteka ni fwe bo fwe ma black sita tuite tabatutekawe. So ichipimo wapimina ko mubie bamuna ichipimo bakesa kupiminako. So ngakale baifunyapo immunity kuri ababa former president wesu mbati bachiri bali efwaikisha te kufunya afyawe twaye kutafeka kalembulati twaye kufunyapo immunity. Remember uyo muntu he deserves a respect. Ni former president wa Zambia. I don't know but once for isa mkuba ifo twale muna muri civic education takuba ati president arapanga fyonse. That's why they are pressure group nama opposition party so that if those people they are elected into office they actually ukufikirisha vile finto fo bari muna muri government fo tayari bomba. So te fyonse vefya kwebati mwara afunya immunity tumuka ke tuchiteshani ichipimo wapimina ko mubiyo ichipimo wakesa kupiminako ero bamuna ino enchitayari chinja. It's not like insansa shinyo buranda insansa shinya call out. So we cannot just remove his immunity seriously because the way you are summoned in Babarungu, even some of the leaders in UPND you be summoned kairi mu Africa bamuna yaba fe kwatina kalimulisa iko uli onse alefo kwibiro muranda uli onse nomba aena ma natural resources mwamonaka icharo chali bakwati ni animal farm that's why George Owen pakulembalire book tale mbere fyalesika mu England ali mwene fintu ifingi ali sta find out amona koku exale mbagala akabuka. So kali akabuka kala turandira ko fufwe baba speechless each time nga twaba betrayed tuyakuka buku kala kene paliopo twa mwene Clover uyu Clover boxer ilya osili yakwete sana makabaisha yapo baisha na Muzambia nichi apani pa social media kuna arande fingi fyakweba fyakuletera bamuna but removing President Lungu's immunity tuifunya pa pene awe umunando wakweba ati whatever we are doing, we are sowing seeds. Tukesa sombola na ifwe, taturateeka patakura kumana na 2 years apawe. Mwamona? People,
But
they are
Bakabushi
crying.
graduate, let me just interject. Nga bafunyapo immunity tekwa bati kumulonga fe cells yo kule kati bakoti babombe emirimu shabo bakoti tete babombe emirimu shabo balungu nga balina immunity olo balungu nga bali innocent abene bakalate afe chimpombo panganda yakasunzo po bale renting according to akalimbusha tumfuire. Of course I'm being sensational.
Nomba kairi echo tulera ndachakwe bati Mr. Muna inashirekana ati immunity y'abarungu beyifunyapo government first ifwire first yakwata na evidence bari efwairikisha mumbali just like America do. America taisa vya penalty pa mamona eroba ba UPND roba ingirepo. And remember, in most of these offices mudiba PF furu mwayimonaka efira ture monati mu state house mwa blackout ya malaiti bakateka balira live boom yashima mwayimonaka omunando akwati mwali botuma PF kateos muma government institution yayengi mamona ero ba UPND ture pange fintu slow bama disi oro batamfisha papene mamona ama town collector balaika takono kwikata. So okufunyapo immunity ineshirikanya but ndera ndati let's have enough time and evidence ya kuisa mukufunyapo abo muremona apo pari matomona likwanya. Remember this guy bari munongaronga sana mama sales paka water police. So if international njebere taufuire wamonekera we muntu. And remember those guys that are there. Remember that man was a former president of Zambia. So awabe mininapo, especially in that gentleman in I don't know if it's a maroon or red suit. But Edgar Lungu still has got money. So let the UPND top officials and the government come in this issue. You cannot just go and assemble a group of youth and start saying let's remove his immunity. Tapari obo ore folk peshawa nomba ifona tuba mu makafira ifrashanda wamuna insansa shinya call out mwaimona we still have people
Linkate mwako ka statement ati insansa shinya call out. So wala mshta call out bakabushi graduates na mshupa sana pa social media ora mwikala na babu doza emwe mu neighborhood
we ina kuranda kairi Filipo. So mwamona so abene matomora bayari fyati abarangu nga bapitafi ali kweteka da kene kali ka grudge kali because he was detained mu Kabwata police. So you supposed to wait uyo ni Lusaka district IPS mwamona at least they could have started with some other IPS in the whole country. They have a meeting then they come up. You cannot just say wake up from tomorrow chimona ilia inenga nde folks the petition ba bulldozer kairi inapateti ndande thing bali ba bulldozer dichilindera DNA. But like I've said, Mr. Muna, it's 3. So once someone gets to Mbapazet corner, it's 3. If in the fiancé fienda statu, the Son, the Father, and the Holy Spirit. So pali sani ngatuwaisha DNA test wa Bowman wapita. Nimbi pali Father bakesa apona. Mama kuli Holy Spirit that wishiboko. So if in fiancé fienda 3, why is number 3 so special? Etuka wonfya pali ba bulldozer. Tete for mwana kashifya fumefyo koba muuna fyoko twali umfwapo amali ashaya nanguli mukoti wapero mwana kashifumo waya baka yakwe bati iwe nishi ya chitike limbe warapira kotuma excuse we munumendo webere awe mbati uyu mwechilye alishta kamoni nafta nali mupera koti kaya pingura tsikali expired so ali kwa tefumowe nangufeni kondomba baba muna baka yarandati ali tulike twali mona posana mmaroko koti twali umfapo amali ashaya ifi umwana kashi alapita so uli omwana kashiteti okay if Bowman if baba sana voko ba mundara don't you think uyu mwana kashinga ngakale bamushita swinga bali mulonge shapo but he knows the truth ukwebati nimbina nini nkwata mwechaka niko so initially batunganya ati yoshani it's 3 tulero DNA test tulero sana so for President Lungu mama tomora pokairika video kareta mikandeka mona he has to wait the court let's remove his immunity bakafunyeyo ine immunity bamuna government ya Africa efi nalitemwa sana okumfwa ni uyu Kagame Paul Kagame that man is very much wise mwamonaka mu Africa ofo twaba yaba kwati twaliba mu kibaya kya ng'ombe mwamona a big barn mwamona during filia animal farm the animals would actually go up in the big barn, they could assemble so pali filia finama nangu kwali befichushi finama kwali bana filia fimyunguru filia fyaisa filia fine mwamona like mori lilie osi lilie aliko kwatiri munguru lya temwefe eno kulyo tumali boni tali alesa kamana tsilimbi ilya animal farm kuti yaisa abefi mwamona snowball nawo kairi snowball bali kwete efo bali ekopera Napoleon na snowball so snowball ali kwete poa mano mwaimona so bali samusha kuli ka Napoleon because bali shibat Napoleon ali wako perfect nishi narandirefi mu Zambia turafuaya fyonse ukula tamba government rich tanangu fya upuba turefa ture supporta mwe bantu let's come up with numbers ba PF you know what I can say is you see you governed the nation the way you thought it was wise and normal so let's also the new Dawn administration to do much of its work now the new Dawn administration it's sowing seed of which later in 5 years time they will reap what they are sowing today so often ingalanda fyakwebat because already bamuna no one is perfect no one so even if you as PF if we tatwa batu twakosera kuli uyu tukoserere tatulya mwawe if we tatulya because tapapo baletera akabunga akabunga kawe so whatever it is by PF you have the strong evidence against UPND you should bring out here that's why this platform it has been created for every of the youths every youth is free to participate on Z corner it can be a youth of Shen Zero we don't mind we will listen if it is making sense we will support you we'll come up with numbers so but Bowman I think whatever it is make sure that that DNA test comes out negative because if it comes out positive it will be a big shame including to those nephew of mine abwabe pwabanzi ni nani ni Esther na Edgar nabo bakapapa if you remember Barabas alipere aleo masana kali donkey kakwe paras kali sa mshoshori wa mu Bible so you make those two beautiful children they will speak to you a language that you even fail to understand so your issue now whenever Messi it is actually an advice to you you see kairi apapakata ba ACC na ba DEC they exist a lot of these psychotropic substances ififima codeine so na iwewe mayo ingawani nwine codeine at least you could have come fe mu inbox mwaranshanya bakupera nangu yakapenta number you have come out in number to say I'm having Bowman's children so meaning you know what exactly what you are saying because in a chimpa pshabamuna chakwebati mwaramba mu inbox mwarafuana that's why pa Facebook ndaseka sana mwafwana mwakona kutufyaro mweba apa muzambia fo mulesta fyakwebati tamura upana namuyakale ku honeymoon then if your honeymoon becomes sour cause courtship munaipanga at honeymoon that's where we see a lot of problems in Zambia if you pomo affiliate pa social media now if you brought it pa open do you expect people to just sit and keep quiet no we have bundles we are commenting on such issues the road to South Africa to akumona mairo udaba alina bachite alina ba boyfriends no that's why in Africa this Western culture it has brought very much harm to this country because you love to imitate and to do something that you cannot manage hence if you fail you start bringing it on social media last time it was an issue of go like scammers lot of people were scammed but inenda papa wamuna can you surely be given to say send 20 kwacha that money will be multiplied to 200 where on earth same applies with these things which are given government youth empowerment you guys we actually inherited empty coffers let's not forget so there is no way a government will start giving you 205 million 50,000 mind you there are youth that are not very much little or should I say financial literacy. Now, that's why I was telling Kairi, but by UPND, topanga kudala ma cooperative. Cooperative shan. A group of women, they can make up over to ingashtawa muna, fingem government, wamona, even Mozambia. Number one, abakweteo portraits. Let's actually remove his immunity. Imwe mwebale kweteo portrait yo. Nibanga mweba kweta masaka ya mabunga mmayandomo. But imwe aba politics yaba kwati ni game. Ingata ukwete ndarama. Just leave it. Lekaba ndarama. Cause some of you might even be sued. If ofine mwa imini napo. Imetoasa nga squad pono warandrepo. Oro mkoti mainjwenga waya. Ba UPND we inherited empty coffers. Inenka kana umuntu wa chitafi filifionse. Ba mtora kota tichipani chamu imini nako. Awe efrena chilanda njebere. Bamatomona instansa shinya called out. So whatever you're doing, it has actually got an outcome. Taturekanya tvarungu bafunyako immunity. If you have seen the government of today, it's trying to push whatever it is. Muma offices umu, nama judges mwani fulaba PF. So today cleaner, there's a law out screen out which is been down countrywide. Now here comes Bamatomona with a group of actually youth. Okay, for us copper belts, why are we not protesting? We are waiting first. Never muna ninkwate ningufu ensara. Echo mfirende tontonka nyapo na aladi ya shani. Ngani nkwato tubana tuwala samba shani. Mwamona shikwete neshite yako bati ngambo okulanda tibarungu ifubafunye npo immunity. Na okay na ngwa bafunye pa batwale court fibwele kwe fintu. Ushoro government ikesa panga ndati yo shani. Awe. So let's also try to stabilize things correctly. It's not that every day we should keep on being reminded of what to do. There are so many things, so many productive things that we as the youths can come up with. We have a cultural village. We can actually endorse that much energy to those places. Council, they have built those places so that we as the youths, we exhibit our talent. Mama na wamonaka. Primitive, it's very bad. Muntu kusanjwa kwati iwe wadibako ignorance. Not I won't feel too much primitive. Ilo not kapusana no kupusana. Kaini primitive ine nadishto sana understand Mr. Mumbi.
Ya bibipa. Number weka pondo. Landa ko pali free for for kulanda ko kuma lands. Inshals na kwa takari mbusha kashu pasana. Kabiri tuliperi ashiri apa nensonderi apa social media. Ichalo chile kumfwa sosa muntu wanda. Katuishinga kutiwaka tackling aka issue.
Network ilife bwino.
Ile baza fe muntu wanda. Tre, koma ishapo.
Aha, so nichi amadeza aya mwe bantu bakwalesa network yali shupa coffee na bamama banziba mama chikamoneka. So if it is kapaliland abantu mulanzi ili yabo bamune fetch tupapwishe ama foreigners bamwenye bali shitama mpango munde myebo ma community. So ero nomba baita ama Zambians as ama squatters. Nomba bushe definition ya squatter ipili bulenshi. Na tumfwa ukuku auseku what's this? Kutuikatane kuminsundu bamwenye balipoka sana landi abantu abekala kulya mweba kundora kuminsundu kulya kutuikatane community na mwishiba neri ashiri na tukwata food data bwino nechiba mayo abakwebati na chibebati bachite join link but network yabwe ireshupa cause hash is using MTN. If it is kafya kwebati mwebantu bakalesa warapa Ministry of Lands, you think that people they are registering for the lands. To our surprise, we find out to say number of people they are fighting for their own lands, which has been sold by the thugs, which has been sold by the PF. Many people here in Zambia, as we are speaking right now, they are crying because their land has actually been grabbed by the foreigners. Now the question is, can I ask anyone here who's watching, where on earth can a foreigner acquire a big land whilst the owner of that land is crying? Nomba Muzambia mwebantu bakalesa, how do you develop oku bambi badesekera mu bambifira mbafire pona. So ichalo, it looks like the people, they have actually drank the urine of an elephant effort wingalanda n'abantu emisu ishankara mu ukukumbi kuma nchendo. So chabulanda sana ba district na ba minister of lands abantu balira sana. Last week nali monapo ba Copper Belt minister bali ya kurufanyama on the same issue of land dispute. So ocho tulelanda chakwe bati whoever was actually his land being grabbed, can you come out in open so that we see how we fight for your land? Because bamuno fotwaire monoku fyali kwata okutupesha amano abantu ababa mwenye bakura obushku. Number, what criteria are they using? Kwaliwo okukura amayanda obushku bushe ama site planner, cause if it is kafya kwebat plan ya lifuma n'okufuma, and you can find out to say aba muma land omba poka bamuna bali bamona ati yo bali shishita filya ekana that's ka primitive mamona. That's where the problem is. Now, we had to sit down with the youths of that side. We had to emphasize them to say, can you come out in numbers so that you start participating on such programs? These lands of yours, these are your lands. These mothers of yours, very soon they will not be with you. Now, if they die today and your land is being grabbed, where are you going to live? Because so people, they expressed very much shock when we went there. Ama plan yali fuma. So bakadda baleshe mpanga pali 10. So amalandi imwoko kutwika tani ku minsundu. Aba mwenye na Chinese. Boneni po ba Minister of Land ofo mwara bomberapo. It's very much shocking. Abantu bali but they have been going per Minister of Land for 3 years. They are just fighting for their own land. Nomba bushe Zambia na ngura chushi. Bushe ninya masoya karali yafi nataka kwate land. No. That's why even the people of this country, filofo tuwa ninya masoya bamuna, they're supposed to protest. Okulanda nyamasoya ekisenture kokulya nyamasoya. This is what I'm saying. Now the CDF, it has been increased from 1.6 to 25.7. Now, how are these people going to benefit it freely while their land have been grabbed? Tatufuire tuwabe fyawe. Kusomali tetuyo poke land, but muno Somalia nyali kwa tenganda. Kuinda tetuyo poke land. But muno Zambia emo musangire, because it's a Christian nation, you are even calling the one of this country as squatters. Iyo leta nimbi narami chitana inbox na tuikwata leta, whereby bali bapera eviction notice. It's here given by to all the squatters. So inechali nkalipa sana. Squatter kutia abashani, shuwa itashani umuntu osangire squatter. So, per Minister of Lands, it's not like it's only in Copper Belt, dollar, concept ya bantu balelira. Number Mr. Muna, the issue is, tabakwete fya pakwa, mira pakwa bati vengalirako. They can have that privilege to be featured on such a media platform so that you can actually hear their grievances. Because if it is sakamika, that's why Zambia.
That's why in the land that Wakabushi graduate at imiti kula empanga ka. So apa if we're not kula apa so Wakabushi graduate na mukula mune fintu finish tika so not kulole that yo banani bakese chitako something apana tupanga chi community TV station chaba youthi chami sepera chama citizens of Zambia. So you have already identified this problem. So what we can do is mobilize ourselves. Once ama squatters you can always come here. We can always go to the Ministry of Lands and ask for questions and answers. That's how we should do it. No, it's us to take action right now. So you have already identified the problem. You've already got witnesses. Let's mobilize ourselves. We go to the Ministry of Lands. Ministry of Lands my phone. I can give you my APIs ya Z corner. Boom. Mwalaba live pa Z corner. Icharo chiremi tamba. Icharo chiremi umfa. Like that. That's how we're going to be able to, control and correct the things. So, Wakabushi graduate. Epa shiri pakuleka. Tufure turechta.
I think, Mr. Muna, what we want to do is, I think if we have any program in Kabushi, because I now see Kabushi, it's the duo. So effort to free the number to watch that, since Z Corner, it's there for the youths. Whatever program that we are having, it's not only any program we are covered here at Z Corner. I'm talking of the issue of land, the development in Kabushi in particular, because this is where Bowman has been pompously say that he has developed Kabushi. Now my question is, how can you go and put ama pavers on other side? You live on the other side. Now mama nakwali bako tuma kombon like hostel, masala, omuta babika ama pavers babika fie mu complex. So does it mean that Kabushi yali kwata boundary ukwa ku town na ku village? Mwamonaka, when you go into Kabwe, kwali bakuma kuluru, kwaba na kulwangwa. You see, so that fure to akwata demarcation between the rich and the poor. This is what is bringing us this country down. Because these are the people that come out in numbers to vote, but you always fail to put their high situations. You fail to put their problems in eye of your office of their recommendations. Munafiro okubebera pwechinka abantu mwabalandirako okulandirako omupina. So abalanda wabene, if those mothers they can be going out, they are crying. Why is because baredzi bamaisairisha abamunati chemwata twapoko obuntungwa ifo tuchiri tuli echura. We voted out in numbers but money ni file sticker. So I think this Z Corner, it will be live mostly so that mwebantu mwai mwenefo tuliranda tinifine fita tuliranda fefi yabu fiawe. I think even the day for the results for DNA test, I think also Z Corner will be live, because what I can say is if Bowman wins clean out, I think I'll even be the master of ceremony to that same party if it comes in 3, just like I've said 3. The Son, the Father, and the Holy Spirit. Ingapi tomu no musalaba fuire naimya no kwimya nkabana kampenga inete in Catholic, but in neo kemya no musalaba. Then so that we deal with that lady if are panga feri ashpari Bowman, so that she set an example kuri ababa kweta manual. Thank you.
All right, okay. Nakonde voice ichalo chile kumpa sosa.
Tienda pari akiala Bowman Lusambo.
We not pari ba Bowman Lusambo. Tranda pari immunity nefya shala. Lero ni therapeutic Friday lero. Landa fyonse fili kumutima wobe. Chalo chile kumfa. Lero no buzz shani ko baranda mutisongo. Lero not kufise fintu kumutima lero so se chalo chile kumfa. Na ba freezer Vamdala ba freezer. Okay, let me kick him out. Kabushi graduate, where then big man? Yeah, it seems the guy now freeze. So, Kabushi graduate. Me, I'm very interested in Kabushi constituency because this is where Bowman Lusambo is, and he's made a name for himself, and that's why we need to make a statement, and this is where we need to concentrate. So I'm a panelist abenge abandi bafumina Kabushi kudisana I'm a powerful youths. So I really want you to concentrate in Kabushi, mobilize yourselves, and let's make sure that Kabushi is never going to be the same, and let's raise the standard. And the reason why I'm very interested in Kabushi is because this is where the self-proclaimed bulldozer is from. And we just need to make sure that there's a high standard of leadership qualities. And of course, you're a very brilliant young man. You're a very powerful networker, organizer. I know you can really do some powerful things. Of course, we are willing to work with even Honorable Bowman Lusambo. Like, quite all right, you've said. You've given us the land issues. Issues land. I've been receiving reports with regards to encroachment of land. City Council. By the way, the ACC and the DEC, if you're listening to me, otherwise we've got a lot of this intel, we've got a lot of evidence, Ganamu for vunanganiba ACC naba DEC, we've got a lot of evidence that we can give you free of charge, and there's a lot of things that you need to correct, especially Ndola City Council na kuya kuma lands kudia. So Bakabushi graduate, how far are you with mobilizing yourselves? Ukokuma Kabushok.
Apa, what I can say is that according to what we have started, I think I'm working on a group which is called actually a Kabushi Initiative Youths. Kabushi Initiative Youths. I want youths to be very much vocal, Mr. Muna, so that they can actually come in from various words. How many words are we have in Kabushi? So I want each word to have 4 members. That we will actually put it as a gender. We want two male and 2 female, so that when we sit down, I don't have to be going around saying in each word. If I may have 4 from actually Skyway's word, I may also want to have 4 from Choka word, just like that, so that as we sit, since I don't live in the whole Kabushi, but I get the data, I want to be verifying before we come up. So that's actually a group. We'll create it so that it will also be on WhatsApp, so that we even invite those leadership. Badiama chairman Bamma said words. What we want is that CDF, because although today I've been told people they were selecting the Ward Development Committee, of which I didn't want to participate much, because all I want is to be an advocate. I want to be speaking for the people for Kabush, not only for Kabush, because I get a lot of information around the country, and I've been moving. Whenever there is a news, we actually come up with volunteers and donors. They will say, oh, can you go to this place, go and find out what is happening. So now we want to start mobilizing youth who be doing voluntary on becoming advocate. It's not every day that Kabushi graduate will be featured on Z Corner. Sometime I may be sick. So this is what I'm planning to come up with, people that will be speaking for themselves. Monen ba utuma papa ba Kabushi ba Muna ine often day that in defo etsakuro ka papa karefo itaira lyakuli range langu lyakuli pajero actually amadandaulo naye apusana so ine tetindera nza kuba Kabushi fyonsawe kila muntu alikuwa tofu ayililira omwine ile defo etsakuro ba papa barefo itaira lyakuli pajero so twapusana so bonsama yutsi kairi mukabushi twaikala kwatinira katunirya bamuna tsha ni family guy family guy then badadzi besu ni ba bulldozer so natwamba tulia fumamu so na fuire twamona Kabushi is being modernized so that it is actually being developed the way we want it to be. We also want Zambia to be like America. We cannot just be saying it is a developing. No. Since our forefather, each Korwe, our ancestor, Kaunda, it was developing. Now Zambia, how old is Zambia? We are still developing. Do we have to wait for Zambia to reach 86 years? This is when we will call it a developed nation. No, there are small things that we can do as youths. Let's just refrain from taking alcohol and making babies, because this is what we are good at. Manufacturing of babies. That's why we are seeing that a number of HIV is actually escalating, because we are very much careless. This is the activity that we have actually endorsed, just to be sleeping around and taking alcohol. If it's not alcohol, then we are breaking people's homes. Those people that you are breaking into, they are not Satanists, they are just hard workers. So even you come up with constructive things that will build for your future and the children that you want to be making, because this is just the job that we do. Now, mind you, the government cannot employ all the youths. How many students are graduating each year? There are a lot. And those students, they are just seated in doing tapadi. Can you kindly exhibit your studies, start practicing? If you're an engineer, can you go to a certain note to say, if we will support you, come up with a strategy, with a plan on how Kabushi will be developed, on how Kabushi will be modernized. Like I've said, we are living in an animal farm. That's why in a Mr. Muna in Gamwanjipsha, I was working on a book called if this generation is not properly handled, it will actually give birth to lobsters and spiders. There's a certain book I was actually working on. So a book inganapera maona rebwabe ngibareseka sana. Because even also just like we used to learn civic education during high school, you see lot of those topics, they were fused out, those important topics Vamuna. If you understand the civic education, which I think those who wrote grade 12 in 2012, I think 2014, civic education, it was very much powerful than the civic education here by the grade 10. That's why they have to combine the subjects in order to actually to erase all those important topics that anyone can understand. And in Kabushi in particular, I have to sit with those a group number of my youth so that we come up with a point. How are we going to summarize the constitution of this country so that everyone has the chance to read in or his own understanding? I mean the language. We shouldn't have a language barrier with the constitution that we have in this country. So in F4 bomberapo. But Iolandi issue yenasha ikarepo fe ku Minister of Lands uko. And I'm very much proud to say the new DC has been appointed out. Those
Who's the new DC of Angola?
Now about star points, although shira umfabuno bwino shina kangi na star points monsa ma district sum. So let's hope nama town krekibara tamfya. Abantu tetsi bali echera pa Minister of Lands kwats kuya mukufora soya filia fyash bali fora soya filia pa clinic awe bali kwa
you should organize.
So bonse tukabareta. And Mr. Muna, I'm also working on bringing Honorable Kanengo, the one who actually stood for Kabushi Member of Parliament under the ticket of UPND. I think we also want to learn something from him because, our politics has got some statistics and mathematics which is needed to be calculated well for one to find himself to win the seat. Sometimes you may be poor, but we should not be discouraged to say, say out your manifesto and say out your ideas, which will enhance people to like you and support you in faith and truth. So, Mr. Muna.
All right. Okay, Makabushi graduate. I think this is where we call it a night. I need to hit the sack. Not tunakasana. So just say your last remarks and then we close it up.
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Just give us your closing remarks.
Yeah, I can hear you. Just give us your closing remarks. I think my closing remarks, Mr. Muna, what I can say is that the youths across this country, you have seen that you are the future leaders of tomorrow. Indeed, there is a term which they are saying that the country actually went to the dogs, of which is true. Now, what type of a dog did the country go to or went to? What I can say is that we as the youths, I'm blaming the youths because we are very much talented. All we do is that we are just praising those fashion sakala. Those guys, they have really made it. We are supporting them, but we need also another youths. So but can you start finding time? Be very much productive. Not only to rely on sexual reproductive. It's saying to quite if you are to pay to develop this country. And for that issue of removing President Lungu's immunity, we have special people that can work out. That's why there are some organization, not just waking up on Oklanda to arafunya immunity. Instance shinya call out bane iseni turorere. Muzambia ichipimo wapimira ko mubiyo na ocho bakesa kupimina. So mango nga yapya tekwewa fyati wajya ili nefiko ufuire wa samfya fest. Amenshinga na yavunda ukate tunwemo ufuire wa lorera umurando wakwe bazirimbe kusuwanu wa mochura nangu wanu rusokanda nangu matababwe. So iseni turorere te kubiri mafyawe nabeshiba abene efo barechita then he about Bowman. But Bowman, just like I've said, I'm still emphasizing won't say about youth. Let's go with the 3. The Son, the Father, and the Holy Spirit when it comes to the DNA test. And if Mr. Bowman comes clean, we'll actually love him because number 10 we will just eradicate some of his ideas. Tukabasukulura, tukabachita cancel through online. I think that's what I can say, Mr. Mona. Let's all the youth be productive and come out open. Facebook, ingorera ndefishinka tapa akabepo kakutwala kukoti. Tapa akabepo kakushitapo persecute because we are there, we will support. Mkwai.
However, Kabushi graduated. Twatotera sana. Have a good night. Make sure you organize those people. Kukuma Kumando, the DC, and the other, the MP who stood as well, the one who wanted to stand, or the one who, yeah, you know what I'm saying. So twatotera sana ba Kabushi graduate. Timu waposhe kona ba mama. We'll see each other tomorrow at 20 hours. So yeah, we'll talk. Mkoayeva Zambia, that's all we had for you today. To Africa Kumpela ya program. Of course, I don't really expect everybody to agree with our statements and you know how we think, because chilamuntu nechewa chakwe chilamuntu alikwata fwa tontonkanya. Of course, with the different panelists that I had, everybody had their own unique lines of thoughts. And this is what we want. Everybody has got a certain unique way of thinking, and everybody deserves to be heard. And this is one of the reasons why we created this community TV station, whereby you join and you do that. But unfortunately, join for some reason. And a lot of you are saying, I'm biased, you're only allowing men and all that stuff. Because we understand, like there's too much testosterone. The topics that we talk about, so everything that I talked about, I sincerely mean it from the bottom of my heart. And of course, if I'm caught by the courts and if I'm told to testify, I would still repeat the same things that I talked about, and I would still keep the same energy. The reason why we're doing this is during the PF era, and the world, or rather Zambia, just almost became a banana republic. And this is one of the reasons why me and my fellow panelists, it won't happen again. Until at least that's when those things will happen. We'll make sure that there's sanity. We'll make sure that these people understand that we really mean business. And a lot of you might be saying, social media, what do these guys even do? No, we're actually doing things in real life, and we're actually working on major stuff. But when it comes to patriotism and, providing duty and honor to your land, you just have to, put on your overalls, your jackets, and just do what you have to do, because if we do not act, nobody will do that. And we are at this particular stage where if so this is one of the reasons why during the day to a baza Jason, he was talking from his shop. Like most of my panelists are hustlers. We've got businesses, we're running businesses, and we're doing our things. So social media, I tell social media nango, you're looking for a job. No, we just have a passion for our land, because we know if we lose this land, takuri kumbeko tukaya. Na afyari kwa Mzambia, umutoto wandi waposere Mzambia, so ine ngana pose chalo chandi panuma. Nishi ndeshto. My kids are going to be staying in this land. They're going to be running these same trenches that I was, walking through, and they're just basically going to inherit everything that I'm going to leave them. So we need to protect our land. We need to protect our women, and we also need to feed our children. So this is one of the reasons why we built this particular platform. If you do your Googles, Z Corner was built in 2015. We were in the trenches. We were not really as visual as we are right now, but we were low-key, adding checks and balances with regards to our documentations. We've got a lot of, pieces that were really bringing out the evil of the patriotic front. So, do your Googles. Go back to the first, post of Z Corner. You will see what I'm talking about. Anyway, to Aranda Sana, I'm sure, people who are close to President Lungu, they could be offended. And I understand, it's okay. Those are just words. Words don't really hurt. People were hurt in real life. If you are just offended by merely words, just words, vocabulary, you're offended by that, right? Imagine the people who lost their lives, the people who lost, breadwinners of the family, people who got retired on national interest. Imagine how they are feeling or how they were feeling, So everything that I said, I did mean it. And I would say these things even in person. If you have social media, if you have your boysy, social media, even in real life, I would look the people that I'm talking about in their eyes, in their eyeballs, in their iris, and then just say the same things that I'm talking about. And I've been doing this, for the past years. If you look at our history as Z Corner, you would know that, Chena, Chachine, it's just that those times a lot was at stake. Those times, ngabari ipaya my family ngabari vepaya. So that's why we couldn't do these things. But times have changed, and anyway, that's that. So if Kokola Filaluvana, just like they say, my name is Nalula, also known as Muna, the unofficial Itunga. Thank you very much for supporting Z Corner. This is your platform made by the youths, for the youths, and for all the citizens of Zambia. We are a therapeutic platform where the people can have real feedback because we've got real people. Bakabushi graduate number Oscar Mr. Mtonga, Jason, everybody, real people, real feedback in real time. So if you really want to get the sentiments of Zambians, just come on Z Corner because we've got real people here giving you real opinions. So let's call it a night. This is all I had for you. Of course, I will see you tomorrow at 20 hours. Put it on your schedule. 20 hours every day. We're going to be coming live and direct, and we're always on time like an atomic watch. 30 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, but we're always here like on a daily basis. No water, not I'm kidding. All right, okay, so that's all I had for you. Have a great night. Remember, share this video. And therefore, I want some share video. Put it on your timeline and post it in 5 different groups because to help will become a bigger platform. And I'm a problems. You can easily come to Z Corner Ichalo Chide Komfwa. But andati Sosa Ichalo Chide Komfwa. Sosa Ichalo Chide Komfwa. Lekeni tumfwa kona bambototo hapa. Mkwai kanande kamvoke kamieve efonde onfwa. Let me hit it one more time for Mbototo. Kamvoke kamieve ichonde mona kandande kamvoke kamieve ichonde onfwa. Mkwai. So azichalo mufire mulelanda nga mwamone fire chitika if ya musevania if ya muselu kulanda nga mwalanda mwara musenda mebweno. So apana ya mukusendama. I'm going to hit the sack because I've really had a great day, and thank you very much for supporting Z Corner one more time. So I will see you tomorrow at 8 p.m. That is Central African time. So thank you very much, and have a blessed evening / night. Bye. Take care.